Hey guys, Luke Wilson back with you again for another offseason outlook. Tonight, Josh Jacobs. So 2023 would seemingly have been a pretty important year for Josh Jacobs. After the Raiders had franchise tagged him in the spring last year, he was heading into a contract season, and he really underperformed given what was potentially on the line for him. He was barely able to top 800 yards rushing on a really alarming, very concerning 3.45 yards per carry over 13 games before he actually wound up shutting it down for the season after a Week 14 game against the Vikings, leaving the fantasy owners that trusted him as their RB1 in 2023 redraft leagues high and dry with fantasy playoffs right around the corner at that time. And Jacobs' 2023 struggles really stood in stark contrast to the pristine season he was coming off of in 2022 when he went for 1,600 yards rushing, over 2,000 total yards from scrimmage, a dozen touchdowns, even added on 50 or so receptions for good measure, finished as like the RB3 in most leagues, which considering most drafters got him in like the 6th or 7th round of drafts in the summer of 2022, he was a league winner for a lot of people for sure. And obviously the Packers think they're going to be getting the 2022 version of Josh Jacobs, not the 2023 model, because on the very first day of NFL free agency this spring, they not only jettison their longtime fantasy star running back Aaron Jones, they bring in Josh Jacobs just an hour or so later on a 4-year, $48 million contract, installing him as the unquestioned top running back in what looks to be an ascendant, potentially elite offense in 2024 in Green Bay. Now, yes, elephant in the room, is there cause for concern with Josh Jacobs, given that he's coming off of a very, very underwhelming 2023? Yes, for sure. For my money, though, I still think that he is a special talent. He's not that, he doesn't have that much mileage on him. He's a year younger than like Saquon Barkley. He had very little usage in his college career at Alabama. And yes, even though he struggled badly in 2023, wheezing to 3.5 yards a carry, which is just an unacceptably inefficient rate to be moving the ball out on the ground in 2024. Through Week 14, Jacobs was still the RB11 in half PPR formats, just on the strength of the volume that he was seeing. He had total control of the backfield. He was able to score 6 touchdowns in those 14 games. And let's not forget, the Oakland Raiders offense wasn't very good in 2023, as seen here, okay? He still, even in a down year, he still accounted for over 30% of their total offense. And just to give you some context for how much of a total offense that is, Kyren Williams, in his 12 games last year, didn't even account for 29% of the Rams' total offense, okay? Saquon Barkley, in his excellent 2022, only accounted for 30.6% of the Giants' total yards from scrimmage that year, okay? So 30.5% is an absolutely elite workhorse back number. And obviously when you look down here, the Packers offense closed as one of the absolute hottest on earth. Jacobs doesn't need 30% of the Packers' total offense to flow through him to be an absolute RB1 in fantasy leagues in 2024. So obviously I like the fit. I like Jacobs' prospects in fantasy in 2024. What's his market like? So in Dynasty right now, Jacobs' market is unbelievably reasonable, okay? Quick survey of popular Dynasty trade calculators show that you can expect to get Jacobs for like a late 2025 rookie first round pick, or a very late 2024 rookie first if your league hasn't drafted yet, or somebody in your league is willing to give up Ladd McConkey or Brian Thomas Jr. for him. I think that is a tremendous, tremendous value for a guy that, I honestly, if he stays healthy, Josh Jacobs is going to have a top 5 finish for me in fantasy this year. It's that simple. Like, the offense is too good, he's too good, and at his age, with the tread he still has left on his tires, I'm expecting that he's going to have at least a 2-year run of total control of the backfield for, again, a potentially ascendant elite offense in Green Bay, possibly 3 years even. It would not shock me at all. A lot of people are very skittish about Jacobs right now because the Packers did use an early pick on Marshawn Lloyd. And that's valid. You definitely want to try to acquire Lloyd if you're a Jacobs owner or if you're considering trading for Jacobs. But I'm not going to let that stop me at all. If you want to win in 2024 and you need to go get a guy, a real a difference maker in your lineup every week, and there's a lot of teams out there that need to do that at running back specifically, Jacobs is your guy. It is that simple for me. Now on the redraft front, up until recently, Jacobs was looking like an even sillier value on the redraft front. I have noticed that now the market's starting to correct here. I checked a little bit ago. His ADP has crept almost into the top 25, but it's not there yet. So he's going in the early third round of 12-team leagues in mock drafts right now. So if you wind up with, for example, like the first or the second overall pick, you take your Christian McCaffrey or your Tyreek Hill, and then whichever position you don't take in the first, you get, if you take a wide receiver in the first, you get a running back coming back around. Or you take McCaffrey, you get a wide receiver coming back around. Josh Jacobs needs to be squarely on your radar, and I think on your roster, if you are in position to get him in potentially like into the second or early third round of redraft leagues this summer. The early offseason outlook for Josh Jacobs, he's a buy.